we're expecting some of Hollywood's biggest stars to come down our Razzie red carpet tonight, and we'll be getting up close and personal with all of them as they come out to compete for one of these, the big award. What a friggin' joke.
A razzie. It is handmade. It does involve a lot of spray paint and a lot of glue gun work.
The base of the award was originally the lid of a jar of raspberry-flavored iced tea mix, but they don't make that anymore, so the craftsman uses whatever jar is the right size. He then takes the jar lid, slaps a glob of plaster of Paris into it, giving the whole thing ballast. While that's drying, he takes a 35mm film core and enrobes it in a wood grain shelf paper from the 99-cent only store. Having a pedestal of the award is a plastic Super 8 film reel, which was much easier to find 30 years ago. Next, he meticulously hand molds a ball of clay into what will be the core of the 3D raspberry. Then he smashes a bunch of gold beads into the clay to look like the nuts of the raspberry. Once that's done, he shoves a piece of wooden dowling into it. At this point, he spray paints the lovely raspberry gold. The dowling of the raspberry is then shoved into the center of the film reel. And finally, as a finishing touch, he adds the fake leaves to the raspberry.
This award was actually designed by me to be the Career Achievement Award originally, and it just turned out so funny I thought it should be the one we use for everything.
We estimate the current value to be about $4.97. And there you have it, the inside story of the process and the price of creating one of Tinseltown's most priceless, iconic, and if I might say so, tackiest trophies.
When Hollywood doesn't feel like bothering to come up with anything new,
and they haven't felt like bothering in years now,
they resort to the kind of movies nominated in our next category.
Worst prequel,
Remake,
rip-off,
or sequel.
This year's most blatantly cinematic retreads are
a remake of a pleasingly cheesy 1981 guilty pleasure. SceneStealers.com compared this one to
a video game,
only with less character development.
Flash of the
Titans.
A reworking of a Nickelodeon animated series. FilmCritic.com eviscerated this one.
With the words of a child.
I can accurately and completely review it by quoting my 10-year-old daughter's thoughts on the movie.
They messed up everything! The latest in a long line of Razzie contenders.
From M. Night Shyamalan.
The Last Airbender.
The movie ripped by Richmond.com as
by far the lamest Grumpy Old Men sequel yet.
Sex in the City. And the winner for the least original movie of 2010 is?
Written in this very envelope.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the same as last year's envelope for this category?
Exactly. The nominees aren't going to come up with anything new. Why should we?
Enough said. Oh, who'd know?
Sex in the City.
Rain with Bzzzline, and I'm here with Paula Einstein, and she's one of the original Razzie players. Now, the main theme, that was you singing, is that right? Are you also a singer?
30 years, you know, I've done a lot of songs. Hooray for What's No Good. He takes a song, rewrites the lyrics. It's usually something that's up that year, and it has to do with the show, and it's really fun to do. And I've done Ethel Merman and Bette Midler and all this kind of stuff. And he said, you know, how's your Cher imitation? I said, what Cher imitation? out always pre-recording everything, and then there'd be a big dance number and all that stuff, and I always did the recordings. And then about the year 10, we decided to go live, and we've been doing them live ever since until this year again, mainly because of so many problems last year. Last year was the 30th, and we did a big thing, and I did a medley.
Was there anything you particularly enjoyed this year?
I really liked Sex and the City getting the what it deserved, because I love those girls. I am one of those people that watched the HBO special and loved, or, you know, all their stuff, and I loved the first one. This one just sucked. It just sucked. You know, they deserved every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Jointly nominated in order to prevent them from hogging 80% of the slots in this category.
Those four scintillatingly sexy,
Salivatingly shoe-loving,
blatantly bling-obsessed gal pals,
beamed and baked by the Boston Globe for being
Brett stalls for grown women,
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Kim Cattrall,
Kristen Davis,
and Cynthia Nixon.
nominated in a clump for Sex and the City
Number 2. May we have the envelope, please?
And, ladies and gentlemen, presenting our envelope, the star of 127 Hours and co-host of tomorrow night's Oscars, Mr. James Franco. Can we give him a hand, please?
And the winner is... I'm gonna have to give it up. The four gal pals, Sex and the City Number 2.
And looking back, what was your favorite Razzie moment?
Oh, wow. There have been some really fun moments, and sometimes the fun moments are when things aren't necessarily going right, like when Tom Green wouldn't leave the stage, you know, and we had to kind of force him off. And but Sandra Bullock last year was so funny and so generous, and you know, she was great. And Halle Berry was great. Halle Berry was really, she stood there, she brought her Oscar. She probably carries it everywhere. She's got an Oscar in one hand, she's got the Razzie in the other, and she goes, "You don't win awards like these without a lot of help," and proceeded to trash Catwoman, which deserved it. It was so funny. So when people get it, it's really nice.
Tell me about Sandra Bullock last year. She came, accepted her award, gave out a bunch of movies, and then she was like, I want people to re-look at it, really dig deep, and then take back the award. Did you do that?
Charming woman, delightful in many of the films she's made. Not this time. If I were trying to convince someone I didn't deserve a Razzie, I would not have brought a wagon load of DVDs of All About Steve.
True rumor, like if you just show up, like you automatically win it?
No, but she did, one of the things she did that probably was a factor in her winning, every time she did an interview about the Oscars, she brought us up and said, you know, it would be cool if I won both and I would show up at both. And our members kept hearing her say that, and yeah, it probably was. I think if she hadn't done that, Megan Fox probably would have won last year.
Now, Jessica Alba seems to be one of the favorite kind of Meryl Streep of the Razzies. But this year she was nominated for 4. So when somebody gets nominated for more than one, you know, dual citizenship in a worse movie, do they win for all 4 of them?
Yes.
Or okay?
Yes, our rules do differ from, I think, all the other awards. If you make a whole string of turkeys, we'll list them all.
One of the hardest things to do well in show business
is to give a good supporting performance.
Unfortunately, it's also true that one of the easiest things to do in show business
is to give a lousy supporting performance. Giving not just 1, but 4 lousy performances.
And while making her 5th appearance as a Razzie nominee,
an actress cut to the quick by cutprintreviews.com, which razzed her with.
To say she phoned in her performances is to give her too much credit.
She merely sent a text.
Maybe just a tweet.
Jessica Alba, and the very worst female supporting performance of 2010.
According to our members is...
Jessica Alba, The Killer Beside Me, Little Walkers, Machete, and Valentine's Day.
many people were surprised that she hadn't yet won a Razzie, quite honestly, because almost everything she does is on our end of the scale.
Do you have any early picks for next year at all?
Big Mamas, like father, like son. Why is there a third Big Mama movie? I don't think Martin Lawrence can explain that. I haven't had time to see Green Hornet because I was working on the show. I hear it could be a contender. I'm trying to think what we're already discussing. It almost looks as though Nicolas Cage is determined to win our Worst Actor award. It's only February and he's already done 2 bad movies. And I heard he's got 2 more. He could be next year's Jessica Alba.